second for you. Getting closer. Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Getting Close Up, the show focused on independent artists and creatives. And my guest today did not bring pizza with him, but it's okay. Y'all know me, your girl Danielle is very forgiving. It's all good because his restaurant, the Combine KC, not only serves up the perfect slice, but also serves as a space for community to exist and create together. Today we are getting close up with Alan Kneeland. Hey.
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm not at all mad about not bringing pizza.
You know.
I already got a slice that I want in mind, so I will be going there.
Nice.
Headed to get one.
Okay.
Speaking of which, what's your perfect slice?
My favorite slice over the time, I think it has to be the Cowtown. The Cowtown, which is like our all meat pizza, pepperoni, beef, sausage, Romano cheese. Yeah, so it's a nice, filling pizza that I like, Cowtown lovers. So yeah.
The one I had in mind that I am going to go up there and get, I want pepperoni, cream cheese, jalapenos, and onion.
Onions, okay.
Then I also want to get honey.
Honey, that's a big thing.
side.
People love putting honey on the crust or like just dipping it in the honey. So yeah, that's something new for me. I'm gonna have to try it sometime soon.
Well, there is a place that used to be around a long time ago, and it was around for a long time, where that was a big thing. They had honey sitting on the table.
Ooh-wee.
And that's the first time I had it, because I would just put that on the crust, because they had like a honey wheat crust.
Oh, that sounds so fire.
Yeah,
I might have to take some notes on that one. Oh,
yeah, you should, because it's really good with that zip of the pepperoni and a little bit of honey. Yeah.
Sweet and savory. Got you.
Let's get to business. You were in the food industry or restaurant industry for a very long time. And you're not that old. So half your life.
Right. Basically now you can say that. Yeah. I started off in the industry in 2006. So at the age of 16, I was actually trying to start at 14, but some people wouldn't hire me. So I started at 16.
Child labor things.
Yeah, child labor. Yeah. But I started off at 16 working for Panera Bread. So the Panera Bread that was actually located in the Westport, it's not actually even there anymore. But I worked my way up from there, starting off as the dishwasher. Then I became a trainer, cashier, manager, all of that cool stuff. So I learned all the different ins and outs of Panera.
You worked your way up, huh?
I basically did, definitely.
And what about that whole thing appealed to you for you to stay there? Did you ever really want to cook, or was it when you got to the part with managing and things like that, is that the part that appealed to you?
I think it started off with me just being a 16-year-old wanting to get a little bit of extra money to pay for some sneakers. Yeah. And then it kind of really pushed me out of my shell, because I started off as a dishwasher, so I didn't have much customer interaction. But then I started, working on the line with food. So I'm talking to customers just a little bit more. And then one night I randomly got thrown in the cashier. And that night I got thrown in the cashier, I just found this love for people and the whole experience you get when going to restaurants. Exactly. You can really dictate somebody's day by just that small interaction you have with them, that 15 seconds. So from there, I really started to get a love for people as well as just serving people. And I started to gain my love for the restaurant industry as a whole. So
yeah, and that's something people don't talk about. Because yes, a lot of people have their icks about anything in the service industry. Period. Yep. But people don't really talk about the parts that are actually really great about it, and the people that really love it. Yes. Because I didn't hate it. If anything, it was sometimes having to deal with some of the not great managers I had. Yeah. And maybe the company didn't really seem like they cared about you, that type of thing. Yeah. But dealing with the people was never really a problem for me.
Yes. I've learned to be a people person. Like I said, originally I didn't start off talking to people. I was one of those people that unless you had something you had to talk to me about, I'm not talking to you. But it really kind of helped break me out of my shell. And now I can see from the other side, and it helps me break people out of their shell. So people that come and work for me that are super quiet, that, you know, want to be servers, but they don't know actually how to start. They come to me and I get them a lot more comfortable with simple things like basic conversations and just, you know, playing around with them a lot. And that gets them real comfortable with me. So now I can start teaching them how to get comfortable with different people. So,
you know, soft skills are very important.
Yes.
It's something that's lacking and goes away more and more the more technology gets involved.
AI and all of that, like it really takes away from the stuff I learned when I was kind of coming up, of just, you know, saying hello when you walk into a room, or you know what I mean, speaking to people.
Acting like you wasn't born in a barn and speaking to people.
That too. But those are just some small things that I picked up along the way, just coming through the industry.
And that's good that you're making sure that it continues, because I don't know how much. I mean, like, most of us go to a store now and nobody's even checking our groceries out. We're checking them out ourselves.
Right.
The whole time we're in the store, we may not speak to anybody else ever the whole time. Nobody's saying hi to you when you come in. Nobody's saying goodbye to you when you leave.
Nope.
And nobody's, you know, interacting with you at all. So those things get lost in the sauce. So it's really important.
They do.
And it seems like you just really wanted this badly, like to have your own place. Yeah. Because you were even kind of building on it yourself. Yeah. You had out the shellac and the polyurethane.
Definitely.
Nails, you was building them.
I started at Panera. I got to about 9.5 years with that company, and for some reason, I just didn't want to hit 10 years. I didn't have a reason why, but I just got to the point where I was like, man, I do not want to be here 10 years with this company.
It just struck something with you, realization.
And I was like, man, I really can do this on my own and really can create my own concept, but how do I do that? How do I get from A to Z? And through a mentor, Buddy Lau, he talked to me and said, hey, well, first you need to get involved with an association, get involved with something where like-minded people like you, other restaurateurs or wannabe restaurateurs are there, so you can kind of start putting your idea together. As well as you need to maybe work for somebody that has its own, so you can really get a bird's eye view of how to run a small business. And that's where I actually went and worked for a guy named Jason Pryor, who owns Pizza 51. I ran his Fairway location for 2.5 years and really took the knowledge from a corporate company and brought it to a small mom and pop's company, and did what I could for his business.
Yeah, so you really got to see both sides, because Panera is huge.
Yes.
Right? Like you're looking at things on a deep corporate level.
Yes, numbers to, you know, just the small things and interactions you make with the customer. All of it's pretty much planned out, and you're trained pretty well. Panera probably has one of the best training programs when it comes to somebody that's not from the industry wanting to get into the industry. It really helps you from the knowledge of, you know, temperature danger zones to how you should interact with a customer. So I think I got the best from Panera.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds. And so then you brought that knowledge into your own thing. And let's talk about, it was really wild how it seemed like it started for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a historic location.
Yes.
On a historic street that's well known for being the racial dividing line of the city.
Exactly.
During a time where you have all these uprisings, the Black Lives Matter movement, and COVID.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild time. People called us crazy for wanting to open up a business during that time. We actually were supposed to open up a year prior. And funny story, I had actually quit my job and wanted to, you know, have a 3-week break. I worked for Panera at that point for like 13, 14 years. So I wanted a nice break. A week into that break is when the whole city got shut down with COVID. So that stopped me in my tracks. Couldn't go back to Panera because I was already out. And then it stopped all of the construction work over at the Combine. So, I mean, we waited for about 3-4 months, really was kind of in limbo with opening that business. But through community partners and just the energy that the community gave us to open, they were asking me every day they saw, hey, when y'all open it, I got to open it date. And so that really drove us to really push the concept. And we were able to open November 5th of 2020, which was scary. But
that had to be scary. And I understand why the community was so hype about it, because where it is it used to be the Wonder Bread factory.
Correct. Correct.
And I remember, I'm not originally from Kansas City. I've been here 24 years though, so pretty much my adult life.
You're here now.
I'm here now.
You are a Kansas City.
I'm a Kansas Citian officially.
Oh yes.
But Wonder Bread, when you would go down the street and you would smell the bread cooking, that was just, it was just an iconic thing. It was a great thing in the memory and the hearts of people in the area. And then of course the store underneath. Yep. You go and get you some snacks,
some day-old bread or some pastries
and all that stuff. And then when that went away, it left a hole.
Yeah, it not only left a hole in the community with not having that source for like fresh bread and you know, pastries and stuff, but it really left a hole because like that whole core became really vacant. So a lot of other businesses were drove out. A lot of people left, you know, their homes. And I mean, with me coming up, I literally drove down Troost, and really that was one of those places where you're like, don't really want to be caught here after, you know, a certain hour.
I mean, facts. I mean, really, honestly, that's true. And so it took away so much.
Yes.
And so how did you end up landing that space though?
Okay. So, fast forward to 2018, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, me and my then partner, Jason Pryor, we kind of put our ideas together and really started the concept of the Combine, but we were looking for spaces. So we were, you know, downtown, we looked at, you know, Raytown, and really couldn't find any, you know, solid spaces that we really wanted to occupy. But we got a call one day from a lady at Remax, and she said, hey, I heard you guys are searching around for spaces. Would you all be interested in looking at this one? We came down there, and we really fell in love with it. I fell in love with the location first because it's on Troost. I grew up off 75th and Troost, so that's kind of my connection to it. Not only were we there, we are right across the street from another thriving Black-owned business, Ruby Jeans. So that was another reason that put me all into like, hey, this might be a great idea to have two Black men with businesses in this area. Yeah, that has a bad connotation about it. And then just with it being on Troost, I could feel, and we knew a little bit of the change that was coming and a lot of the building that was coming, but we didn't know how much. So I didn't know about MCC. We knew that we had the school district and a lot of houses that were being built, but we didn't know how much money was being poured into that area.
Poured into that spot.
Yeah.
And it was just it's a serendipitous thing. It was just like all these things came together. Yeah. And I love the concept that you have for it, because basically it's like your own version of Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah, so the culture needs a Cheers too, and that's exactly what I wanted to have happen. So when we came up with the concept and knew that we wanted to bring a bar to our concept, I just kind of looked around and I was like, well, I want to speak to some other bar owners. How many, you know, Black-owned bar owners are there in Kansas City? And then I was pretty amazed when I found out there was like less than 5. So to have that in Kansas City and be able to bring a concept that could, you know, help push the culture forward was something that I was like, yeah, I'm all in for it. Like, this is something that I want to be a part of. So we have a space. It's become one of those spaces that, you know, people feel comfortable, whether they be, you know, very popular or just, you know, wanting to get out with their family on a Friday night. But it's a space where people feel comfortable to come out, let their hair down, have a good piece of pizza, and just, you know, vibe out. Right.
Because like you also have open mic nights.
Yes.
And that is another way to build community as well, because you have all these independent artists coming in and they can get an audience.
Exactly. I've always been a supporter of the arts, whether it be, you know, just like open mic nights and musicians, or whether it be, you know, artists that are coming out drawing and painting, or being able to display their artwork in my space. I've always been,
because it's all over.
Definitely. I've always been a supporter of the arts, and to be able to have a space that still supports that and still helps me make money on my side, it's pretty dope to me.
Yeah. Now, marketing is another tough thing. Like, how are you navigating social media to market business?
So actually, marketing was one of my biggest issues in the beginning. So as you mentioned before, we started in the middle of a pandemic, COVID-19. So people weren't really wanting to come outside their house.
I was one of them.
Oh yeah, see, like, so we were literally trying to figure out, how do we get you all outside of your house? How do we make a concept that makes people feel comfortable? Luckily, we had the space. So you want to make sure you have the space to do it. But I think with us just starting to build this concept. It was just making sure that we did it with quality. So quality food, quality customer service, and the word of mouth is literally what brought a lot of people to us, and which still continues to bring a lot of people to us. So making sure that we serve quality products and we do it in a mannerable way is what helps build our brand.
And so the connection between the community, because you also, the space isn't just a bar and a restaurant. You also have an event space, and there's always a lot of things going on there. Tell me more about the connection between like local government and your work with that, and trying to, and basically for me, when I'm sitting in there and I'm having my pizza and I'm having my drink and I see the mayor just chilling, that means something to me.
Definitely.
Talk to me about that.
Well, that's definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to create this space, because I don't care where you're from, I don't care who you are, but to be able to come inside of a space, no matter your name, you should be able to come in here and enjoy what you're doing and be able to go home and relax. That's pretty much it. So when we first opened, we actually had the mayor come in maybe a couple weeks after our first opening day, him and the now city manager, and they were like, hey, we don't really want that much attention. We want to sit off in the corner, have a quick meal. I'm like, do your thing, Q. And he did his thing, and he was relaxed. He was drinking Crown. I think it was Crown Apple to be exact. So I'm like, all right, he wants to, you know, get comfortable too.
He's trying to chill.
And that's exactly what he did. And him and a lot of other Kansas City councilmen and women come in there on a weekly basis just because they know that it's a nice space and they can come in and get, you know, quality customer service and some great pizza at the end of the day.
We talked about history for a second, and going back to that, within a year of opening, you won the 2021 Edwin G. Grace Service Award.
Definitely.
Like, that was your first year.
Oh, yeah.
During a pandemic. We still in a whole panorama.
Oh, yeah.
And you winning awards for service?
Definitely. Well, so that kind of speaks to my time with the Greater Kansas City Restaurant Association. I've actually been serving on the board for, I believe I'm in my 7th year. So that was my fifth or 4th year of being a part of the association.
First Black sitting officer.
Yes.
Which is wild.
It is wild. It's a great thing, but at the same time, I'm still seeing that in so many different industries, people being the first. So it does show that there's change happening, but it's kind of like, ooh, like we're still behind that 8 ball. Yeah, we're still behind that 8 ball on a lot of different things. So to be that person, I'm happy, and I take that position with honor. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have that door open, and having anybody else behind me, like, come on in, I got you. Exactly,
because now it's not just you.
Yeah.
You know, you have someone coming up who might be the first Black woman to hold that position.
Exactly.
And it's really a floodgate at this point.
Right.
Opportunity.
Right.
Just from one thing. Why do you think, from sitting in your position, why do you think it was so divided for so long?
In the industry, is it? Yeah. Well, I think that
in the association in particular.
In the association, well, I think for a long time it was viewed as a good old boys club.
And was it though?
So before I got in, you never know. I don't know, but when I got in, I believe I was like open with welcoming arms from some great people. Jason Pryor, who was my mentor, Buddy Loud, David Lopez, who runs Manny's, which is a great Mexican restaurant here in Kansas City, but and some other restaurateurs. They welcomed me with open arms, and they were wanting to be a part of the change. So when I say be a part of the change, they were a part of helping get me voted in. They were a part of helping get the first woman a part of the association voted in as president. So I think it's just been a long time coming. Yeah. A long time coming.
And I think that's amazing, because there's a lot of things to be mad about, but there's a lot of things to see promise in, and a lot of things to get involved in to make the change.
Right. You have to be involved. So you ain't got to
keep being, angry about it.
Definitely.
And I think that's really important, because you're in a position to make change.
Yeah.
You know, who you are, what you're doing, the way that you do it, the way you conduct business and yourself, and knowing that you're going to hold that door open is very important.
Definitely. I feel like there's not enough representation in the restaurant industry here in Kansas City, black wise. We got a lot of great black restaurants, but they're not necessarily represented in the way we should be. So being able to be the head of an association and start to let them know, hey, you guys don't got to do it all by yourself. We have this big machine right here that's going to help push your business and take a little bit of pressure off of all the work you're doing. I'm happy to be a part of it. And whatever I can do to help other black restaurants throughout the city or brown restaurants be successful is what I'm looking to do.
Whoever is underserved, overlooked.
Yes.
But putting in the work, because that's what we do.
Yeah. And I'm willing to help anybody. So
exactly. So going back to like one question that probably a lot of people might have that's really technical and kind of in the business side of it is regarding finances. Getting started in this and looking at things financially. What would you say is the most important thing to consider as far as the financial component when you're wanting to start a restaurant?
I could go so many different ways with this. I'm just thinking like budget, save.
Yeah.
Really.
That's a big one though. Budget is a big one.
Definitely. Understanding your own finances. I have a beautiful wife, and we had to really have some tough conversations before we started on this journey. And it was something that we had to do. That's the last thing that we want to do is argue about money, but we had to get it under control and get an understanding of what we were both actually bringing in before I could actually get into this venture. But it really took a lot of saving. I'm a big saver, so it definitely took a lot of that. But also relationships. So there's no way I could ever get into this position without the relationships that I've built over the years. It wasn't just one conversation that I had with one guy and helped me start this business. It's been some seeds that were planted years ago, whether it be people seeing the hard work that I do on an everyday basis, or whether it be just the way I hold myself in public in a respectful manner. All of those little things help add to me getting to the point of being able to open the doors of the Combine.
That's super important. People have to be aware of the way that they learn and how their response to discipline.
Yeah.
Like you have to discipline yourself.
Definitely.
And on top of that, you got to know what your weaknesses and strengths are, because you say you're a saver and that's great. But had you not been somebody that was a saver, you could be trying a lot and still not get to the level that you need to be.
Definitely.
But relationship helps you find somebody that can help you with those skills that you don't have.
Right. And it helped put me into a position to get into those rooms and to get into those conversations where I could help, or not help, but just start my own business.
Yeah, that's just invaluable. Like off top.
Yes.
So what are your future plans for your establishment?
Future plans for the Combine. Obviously, it's just continuous or continuing to grow the brand. The fact that there's still people finding out about the Combine that are from that neighborhood or that used to be in that neighborhood, and they're coming back and seeing the change and the growth. Those are the people that I want to get. So continually growing the concept, as well as just being an anchor for that area. So Ruby Jeans at this point is the anchor for that. They have a big name, but I want to make sure we throw our name in the hat too. Make sure that we're that business that's going to be around for 15, 20 years from now, as a hub, as a staple. I want to be mentioned with the gates and the, institutions of the city.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Definitely.
Because just because there's already stuff that's established doesn't mean that there can't be more.
Right.
There's room for more.
There's room for everybody.
As long as time will continue, there will be a time for names to continue to grow and become those staples.
Indeed.
And I definitely think you're capable of that. Now, you mentioned Ruby Jeans. Ruby Jeans has, they landed that location inside Whole Foods.
Yes, they did.
And so, do you have any plans for additional locations?
Well, that's the question now. People ask me all the time, when am I going to bring a Combine to the Northland or
I'm pretty sure
downtown or different areas of the city. I haven't decided on that just yet. I am working on another concept, and I kind of keep that close to my chest. But it will be something else coming from me within the next 2 years, business wise. But just be on the lookout for that.
I'll definitely be on the lookout for it. And one other thing I want to ask about, because again, I talked about your involvement with the arts and, you know, hosting open mic nights and having your art displayed. So what do you see as far as that expanding? Like, what are your ideas there?
Well, I definitely want to kind of expand and really tap into the open mic night scene here in Kansas City. It's one of those overlooked scenes here, but I feel like it's one of those things that has the potential to be really big here. People host open mic nights all over the city, but when it comes to quality, I think we fall into that category. And right now we're looking at being able to expand it as well as being able to reach more people. There's a lot of different artists that aren't necessarily, or they don't necessarily have the know-how to get up and perform, or they don't have the comfortability of being able to perform for 100 people. But here at the Combine, it's a smaller crowd and it's a more diverse crowd, but at the end of the day, we support every single person that has the nerve to get out there and, you know, show us their artistry. So being able to have that space and create a space where people can feel comfortable in front of, you know, people they don't know is something that I'm looking to help grow, as well as just affect more people.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, because you're right. It's a lot of people that have a lot of talent and they're just not comfortable. They don't know. But if they know they have a welcoming space, an environment where you just got to get out there and try. That's really what it comes down to. You got to get out there. You got to try. You got to throw yourself at it, because really, who else is going to do it for you?
Nobody.
Just like with this, who else is going to do it for you? Nope. You had to get out there and do it yourself.
On your own. And the Combine is that space. So we really want more artists to be able to be open. Even if you're just coming up for 2-3 weeks and kind of checking the scene out, you're going to catch the bug being in there long enough, and you'll be able to get up there and perform. Yeah,
because a lot of the people that I've talked to before, the people who've been performing a long time, they talk about back in the day, they had talent shows. You know?
I remember those
talent shows was a big thing. Not even that long ago, but that was a way to draw people out, and they would just and open mic night has the spirit of that for sure. Which is really awesome. I don't know if it's a repackaging or a rebranding of it, or if it's just like adjacent ideas.
It's close,
but I think that that's really important, even despite social media, people being able to get on TikTok and get a bunch of views and get out there and stuff. It's still, like we talked about earlier, person to person. It's really important to have that person to person exposure. And that's what it does.
I think so. Definitely.
So you want to tell the people at home where they can keep up with what's going on at the Combine KC and what's coming up next in a couple of years that you hinted at.
Okay.
Which I'm excited about. I'm ready.
Straight up. So Combine KC, located at 2999 Troost, open 7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays. We're open as late as 10 p.m. We're not kicking you out if there's a Chiefs game or a NBA Finals game on, so feel comfortable to come out for all those big sports games. And you can find us on all social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook at thecombinekc.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, Alan Kneeland. Combine KC, follow us.
That's what's up. Oh, that's all I got for you guys. I'd like again to thank Alan Kneeland for joining me today. All the links that he gave will be down in the description box below, so make sure you check them out. If you had as much fun as we did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing it to you. Hit us up in the comments as well. New episodes of Getting Close Up air bi-weekly on Fridays. But next Friday, make sure to also check out GCU Review with Danielle and D. We'll give you the tea on what's hot and what's not. So come join us. We're a bunch of fun. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for another Close Up. I'll be checking for you. Bye.